Hi, I'm Matt. I'm part of the Solutions Engineering team here at Box. In this episode of Secure Remote Work How-To, I wanted to share an introduction on how to work with your team, even when you're in different places. Working from home is definitely different from working in the office in a lot of ways, but that doesn't mean it can't also be easy and secure. Just to make sure that we're all on the same page, I wanted to talk about some basic things that we take for granted when working in an office, and how those might look for you when we're working from home. Things like, how do I get to my stuff and share information back and forth? I'm going to walk through some of the things that I do with Box on a daily basis. I think you'll find them helpful. There are a couple of different ways to share information in Box. Let's start by just describing what each way is and how they're different. First is the shared link. Think of a shared link as an email attachment replacement. Any place where I would normally send someone a file, I can just send them a secure link to it instead. Next is the collaborator. Content collaboration is for when you're going to be working on the same file or group of content with other people over a period of time. This is kind of like your network file shares in your office. For example, the accounting department might all be collaborators on a folder with all of the accounting content in it. Let's create a shared link. First, click onto the file that you wish to share. Then click on the Share button. When the Share dialog pops up, click to enable the shared link at the bottom. This will present you with some new options. On the left, you can set the permissions for the link for which people can access it. First is people with the link. Anyone with the link can access this file. Second is only people in your company. Anyone with the link who is also in your company can access it. Last is invited people only. This means only people who have been invited to collaborate on this file can access it via this link. This is really handy if you have a sensitive file that you want a collaborator to have easy access to. Just send them a link and they'll be able to have one-click access. On the right-hand side, you can set what they are allowed to do with the file. Can they just view it, or can they view it and download it? You can copy the shared link by clicking the Copy button. Then paste it into an email or chat message and send it to your recipient. You can also email it right from here. There are also some options that can provide additional security for your links if you need to use them. Let's look at a couple of the most frequently used. If we click on Link Settings, then the Shared Link Settings page pops up. The first option is for link expiration. Do we want this link to stop working at some point? If so, when? Say I only want my ad agency to have access to the mock-ups for my new product while they are working on designing my ad campaign. I can have their access automatically turned off at the end of this. If we click this checkbox, then we can select any date in the future for the expiration date. Next is the ability to password protect the link. If I click this checkbox, then I have the option to set a password for the link. You can change that password whenever you want as well, just by updating it here. When I'm done setting these options, I can just click Save. If you decide to change any of these link settings later, you don't need to worry about sending a new link. The link itself will remain the same, and any changes will be seamless to the folks accessing the link. How about adding somebody as a collaborator? As I mentioned before, you would normally add someone as a collaborator on a folder when you're going to be working with them over a period of time, like on a project or a team, like the accounting team or engineering team. Let's look at how to add them now. I'm going to click onto a folder where I want to invite somebody. You'll see the Share This Folder button appear in the right-hand rail. I can add the collaborator by clicking here, or I can do it from within the folder as well. If I open the folder, you'll see the same button on the inside of the folder too. Let's click on that now. When the Share dialog pops up, simply add the email address of the person with whom you want to collaborate. Next, you'll need to decide what permissions you want to give your new collaborator. There are 7 different levels of permissions available to you. You can see a list of each of them, and a brief description of what each of those permission levels allows as well. Select the one that matches the permissions that you think are appropriate, and then click Send. The invitation to collaborate will be sent, and their name will appear in the list of collaborators in the right-hand pane. You can even change their permissions or remove them later if you need to do so. Naturally, our content policies will help to prevent us from accidentally sharing sensitive content with people who shouldn't be seeing it, but we are the first line of defense, so be sure to select the permissions carefully. You can see that Box makes it really easy to share documents securely, but in addition, Box also gives you visibility into who has actually been using it. You don't have to wonder if your coworker opened that email attachment you sent them yesterday. Now you can check for yourself. This is where access stats come in. If I click onto a file, I can see access stats right over here in the right-hand pane. They'll also be available in the Details tab if I open the file in preview mode as well. If I click on to View Details, I can see a quick summary of all of the file access, and then just below, I can scroll through the entire history. I can see who accessed the file and when. Please be sure to check out the other videos in our Secure Remote Work How-To series and visit www.box.com/remote to learn more about how Box can help you and your team work from anywhere.